Hello and welcome to the Hogan Era podcast. I am your host, JP Jeppers, right here on the two-man power trip of wrestling podcasting empire, part of the TMPT feed here each and every week on the show. We're talking about some of the greatest matches, moments, feuds, and wrestlers of all time, all predicated in one era, 1984 to 1993 in the WWF. Some people refer to it as the golden era of professional wrestling. We, of course, here refer to it as the Hogan era, the era that made Vince McMahon a retired billionaire, the era that launched so many superstardoms and fandoms. It is incalculable. This is not only about the immortal Hulk Hogan, but the other great stars of the era, such as Macho Man Randy Savage, Rowdy Roddy Piper, The Ultimate Warrior, Andre the Giant, King Kong Bundy, Big John Studd, Psycho Sid Justice, Sergeant Slaughter, and so many others. Talking about some of the greatest tag team champions, intercontinental champions, greatest gimmicks, greatest enhancement talent, some of the not so great gimmicks, some of the not so great enhancement talent, and maybe even some of the not so great champions of the era. We're talking about some greatest shows as well. We are running the gamut from A to Z. Today, here on the show, we're going to be talking about the big event because it's almost the 40th anniversary of that show, one of the biggest shows in WWF history. Not even a pay per view, by the way, just one of those gigantic shows that they were going to do that they thought was going to draw maybe maximum 10,000. And guess what, folks? It drew about 70,000 people in Canada. So crazy, crazy, huge, huge draw, crazy show, just unbelievable. But let's get into it here. Let's talk about the big event. August 28th, 1986. So, like I said, we're almost coming up on 40 years. We're basically a 39th kind of anniversary of it. When you think about it, I mean, it's just absolutely crazy. The show was held at Exhibition Stadium in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. The big event, of course, with the tagline, the biggest event of all time. This was a closed circuit CCTV event produced by the WWF, of course. The event locally in Canada, in Toronto, was promoted as Hulkamania. So it wasn't even really given a name, just promoted as Hulkamania, and really just had, as you can see here, just has Hulk. And he's basically the main promotion for the show. And according to the official WWF magazine at the time and other official records as well, the total attendance was over 70,000 fans. It was a sellout at Exhibition Stadium. Only other prior sellouts at that stadium, just to throw this out there, The Who and Bruce Springsteen. So there's been different estimates over the years. Some have reported 61,470, which is still amazing. And then you have other sources reporting it at 74,000. So it's safe to say somewhere around the 70,000 range is where it is. No debate amongst the sources are saying, though, it did set the all-time wrestling outdoor attendance record at the time in 1986. According to the Toronto Sun, it reported and the gross was reported at over 1 million Canadian dollars, which is obviously well into the millions for the United States as well. So $1 million gate for that show. Just, man, crazy, crazy profits from the show. Crazy what they were able to do with it. And at the time, it was not a pay-per-view. It was not thought of as doing it as a pay-per-view or a WrestleMania type event, even though it outdrew Mania by 3 times. It's just absolutely crazy. They did do a VHS tape later of the event, Coliseum home video, of course, which you're seeing here. And the commentary was dubbed in by Gorilla Monsoon, Johnny Valiant, and Ernie Ladd. 2-hour tape, basically, which had a number of edits to it, but there was a ton of matches. Eventually would be put on the WWE Network, and even this year in February was put on the WWE Vault channel on YouTube. So the main event, of course, heading into the show was for the WWF World Heavyweight Championship. It was the Immortal Hulk Hogan versus his arch nemesis, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. Orndorff and Hogan, of course, they had friendship, but that became super heated and escalated big time as Orndorff would turn on him. But on the syndicated programs throughout this summer, they would eventually land on Adrian Adonis's talk show, The Flower Shop, and really trouble started brewing between these two. The seed was planted, and a suggestion was given to Orndorff that he was living in Hogan's shadow, even some referring to him as Hulk Jr., and that he had gone soft by teaming with Hulk Hogan. So, of course, after WrestleMania, after Orndorff and Piper lose to Hogan and Mr. T, this is a year or so later, and now Orndorff is a babyface and kind of living in, you could say, Hogan's shadow just a little bit, but with a series of, minor incidents involving Hogan irritating Orndorff. The two eventually accepted a challenge from Big John Studd and King Kong Bundy, of course, managed by Bobby the Brain Heenan. They were part of the Heenan family. This allowed Orndorff Orndorff to get double teamed by Studd and Bundy. A legal double team from Hogan basically kind of causes this DQ. Orndorff helps Hogan to his feet afterwards, after the whole melee, after the match. Boom, Orndorff nails him with a huge clothesline, stiff clothesline, then nails him with a stiff pile driver, and basically Orndorff brings Heenan back into the fold as his manager, cementing the heel turn. Absolutely devastating, at the time as a fan. You're just not kind of expecting that from Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. I thought he was boys with Hogan, thought they were buddies. But no, he viciously turned on him, and boy, did that set off huge box office. One of the best Hogan feuds, one of the best money-making feuds. You want to throw it up there as far as Hogan and Orndorff and making money, and Hogan in that era, during the Hogan era, making money. Top 3 money-making feuds. Andre the Giant, Macho Man Randy Savage, and Orndorff, all versus Hogan. Those are the big money makers, and you throw Piper in there as a 4th as well, and maybe you want to throw Bundy in there, but that's the top 3. You can even say Orndorff might be the top 1. They sold out so many shows, and this show is just indicative of that. 70,000 people in Toronto, they wanted to see this feud. Orndorff is demanding a title shot. Bobby the Brain Heenan is demanding a title shot. This is all kind of leading up to this event. He's got a new heel character, obviously, Mr. Wonderful. Mr. Wonderful even uses the Real American theme song, mocking and mimicking Hogan, doing his little routine, doing the cup in the ears, trying to flex his muscles like Hogan, just really, really doing whatever he can to get a tremendous amount of heel heat on this feud and on himself, and really on the Hulkster. It was just one of those things where the fans wanted Hulk to get his comeuppance, or Orndorff to get his comeuppance, and Hulk to get his revenge on Mr. Wonderful. Also, of course, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and Jake the Snake Roberts had a very, very high-profile feud at this time. This really began when Steamboat was attacked on Saturday night's main event, and really kind of, right before the match, really, at Saturday night's main event, number 6, watch the DDT. He just lays him out on the concrete floor. He was absolutely knocked out cold. They had the feud with the Komodo Dragon and the Snake, kind of going back and forth there. And then obviously they had a big thing on the Snake Pit as well, where they're kind of leading up to this match. There's a lot of other things going on during this time period. Well, we'll get to the whole card now. It's 11 matches. Pretty damn good show. If you haven't seen it, I would suggest kind of going out of your way to see it. It was highly, highly enjoyable and just a really fun show, especially the main event. But the first match out, the Killer Bees, Jim Brunzell and B. Brian Blair, defeated Jimmy Jack Funk and Haas Funk with Jimmy Hart in the tag team match in about 7 minutes. Killer Bees get a big win there. Obviously, Jimmy Jack Funk and Haas Funk, the Funk brothers, after Terry Funk has left the WWF. The next match is the Magnificent Morocco with Mr. Fuji versus King Tonga, a.k.a. Haku, before he was Haku. This match ends in a 20-minute time limit draw. Third match of the evening, the World's Strongest Man, Ted Arcidi, defeated Tony Garea via submission in just under 3 minutes. The fourth match of the evening, Junkyard Dog defeats Adrian Adonis with Jimmy Hart via countout in about 4 minutes and 15 seconds. Fifth match out, Dirty Dick Slater defeated Iron Mike Sharp, 6 minutes and 30 seconds. The next match up is a 6-man tag. The Heenan family, Bobby the Brain Heenan, King Kong Bundy, and Big John Studd, defeated the Machines, Super Machine, Big Machine, and Captain Lou Albano with Giant Machine via disqualification in just under 8 minutes. Of course, Super Machine, Bill Eadie. Big Machine, of course, was Black Check Mulligan. And Giant Machine, who's in the corner, was Andre the Giant. So here we go. We got a Snake Pit match up next. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat defeated Jake the Snake Roberts in 10 minutes and 15 seconds. Great stuff here. Great match. Maybe you could say possibly the match of the night between these two. Always, obviously, great chemistry between these two. And always, of course, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat was on his game. One of the greatest of all time. You want to throw it out there as the match of the night? I really have no qualms about that at all. Really, really great match. Definitely go out of your way to see that one. The next matchup, Billy Jack Haynes defeats Hercules Hernandez in 6 minutes. These two had interesting chemistry. Either they were on or they were off. I feel like with these two, they've definitely had better matches against each other. There's no doubt about it. Then the next match, the fabulous Rougeau brothers, Jacques and Raymond, defeated the Dream Team, Greg the Hammer Valentine, and Bruce the Bar Beefcake in just under 15 minutes. If you want to throw that out there as match of the night, I wouldn't have a problem with that either. Another great match. Really, really good. I would go out of my way to see that one as well. Then Harley Race defeated Pedro Morales. The battle of NWA champ versus a WWF champion. Well, former champions, of course. Harley defeated Pedro Morales in 3 minutes and 30 seconds there. And then the main event of the evening, Hulk Hogan defeats Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff by disqualification in 11 minutes and 5 seconds there. Another really, really good match, hard-hitting match. Really, really good stuff between these two. And, of course, Hulk ends up beating up Orndorff and Heenan after the match and sends the crowd home happy and sends them in a frenzy. If you have ever seen a picture of this crowd, it is immense. It is amazing. I don't know if WWF was quite ready to handle this. Like I said, they thought they were going to get about 11,000 people, and it got, just as reported here by the exhibition stadium itself, 74,080 fans were in attendance. So, I mean, you kind of get the gamut of what I'm throwing out here, but it was definitely over 70,000 people. Just amazing event. I don't know, maybe kind of one of those under the radar shows that you should check out. Definitely for Hogan Orndorff, definitely for the Rougeau brothers against the Dream Team, and definitely for Steamboat and Jake the Snake Roberts. Again, was not a pay-per-view, but probably should have been. I mean, it's just crazy how oversold the show was. It was amazing. Just goes to show you the power of Hulkamania. And of course, this is just kind of the beginning of Hogan and Orndorff really setting off their feud and really taking it to the next level. The big event, I would kind of go out of your way to see it. You could check it out, like I mentioned, on the WWE Vault on the YouTube channel. So really good stuff there from the WWF. And of course, Hogan Orndorff would just continue to just, absolutely sell out everywhere they're going, absolutely become a force. WWF Saturday Night's Main Event, they had a couple matches there that just tremendous ratings. We're talking about 10 million fans, talking about 20 million fans viewing one show. Just absolutely crazy. All in all, when you look at Hogan and Orndorff and just their feud in general, they had over 100 matches together. So it is a long and arduous feud that really started in 84, and you could say basically ends maybe in 87, if you want to kind of throw that out there. It's just crazy that they basically feuded on and off for about 3 to 4 years and just had just a tremendous feud together. The end of 86, of course, everybody remembers Saturday Night's Main Event number 9 in the steel cage match, drawing over 20 million fans, and really just awesome steel cage match in Hartford, Connecticut. So great feud, great event. Go out of your way to check this out if you haven't already. I would highly recommend it to you out there. Now let's head towards the plugs and head towards the finish. You could follow me on Twitter and Instagram at 2Man Power Trip. Check out the website, patreon.com/TNPT Empire. Also go to TeePublic, tpublic.com/store/TNPT. Get your Hogan Era gear today. You can go to Dashery as well, 2manpowertrip.dashery.com to check out some more merch over there on Dashery. Also, when you're checking out the TeePublic store, you will notice the Era of the Hitman shirt, which is coming soon. The book, which will be featuring 25 hours worth of content with Brett that we will obviously edit down and break down. It is an amazing journey. Check it out in 2026. It will be available ECW Press. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. See you right back here next week for the Hogan Era Podcast. See you next week.